Hey, Ladislas Maurice from thewanderinginvestor.com. So today I am in Montenegro in Kotor Bay. I'm actually on the ferry right now. I'm meeting with petersquaremeter, my favorite agent here in the Kotor Bay, and he's going to show me a beautiful villa, a nice villa that's actually really good value for 250,000 euros in Herceg Novi that can get you a gross rental income of about 10%. Let's go. So you see, this is what happens when you live in Montenegro for too long. There are amazing views everywhere. You're on the ferry, and then you just sit in the car because you're just blasé. We're going to go through the house pretty quickly. The general metrics of the house is it is being sold for 250,000 euros, and the square meters is 160. So that comes down to about 1,500 euros a square meter. There are 3 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms. And what is really nice about this place is going up the stairs, the views are absolutely stunning, okay? Thereafter, we'll be discussing with petersquaremeter. He shall elaborate a bit on the area and why this particular place in Herceg Novi is interesting from an investment point of view. So, nice pool. So there's a pool, there's a garage, there's a lot, a relatively nice plot of land as well. So there's a lot for 250,000 euros, I'll put it that way. And the main living space is really bright. I mean, just imagine this is where you sit and just have coffee. And on the top of the house, there is a massive terrace.
Oh, okay.
Massive terrace.
No, I know it very well. I love the area.
Just absolutely gorgeous. And here's petersquaremeter, probably selling some real estate. Just amazing view. So it's raining right now. Just stunning all around. Stunning. Stunning, stunning. So petersquaremeter.
That's me. Yeah.
So beautiful villa, 3 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, swimming pool, garage, nice plot of land, insane views, 250,000 euros.
Yeah.
1,500 euros a square meter. What's the catch?
There's 2 catches. One is that the hill up here is a bit zigzaggy, but obviously to get anywhere with a view like this, you've got to go up a mountainside. And this is one of the 50% of properties in Montenegro which aren't properly registered. So there will it's applied for what they're calling legalization here. So it will be in that pool of properties which will be legalized, but there will be a future bill. So hence the price at the moment. The returns are fantastic anyway, so you're looking at least a 10% gross on these properties, but you're probably looking at maybe a 15 or 20,000 euro tax bill to come in the future. But also bearing in mind that that's for the country as a whole, so when that happens, it will also happen in a very easy way. So you can either kind of pay immediately and probably get a bit of discounts off that, or you can put it on like a mortgage, so you can pay kind of on a monthly basis over, I don't know, I'm guessing 10 years or 20 years or something.
Would one need a lawyer for this, or is it just automatic, just done through the local municipality?
There's you can use a lawyer. There's an amazing woman which we use in Herceg Novi that does all these things. So there are people that do it, and for quite a reasonable price. So it doesn't have to be a lawyer, but somebody knows the ins and outs of the planning that can do these things. A lot of it is actually done with geometers, we call them here, which are surveyors, and maybe architects. So there are a few things. We're actually going through the same process on one of the houses that we bought in Lustica. So we've had the surveyor there. We just need to get I think a structural engineer to do. Just basically, it's just the bureaucracy. We just got to pay a guy or file some papers, and someone is going to cost us 300 euros here and there, and then we'll pay the taxes for that.
So those are typically the types of questions you want to ask when you buy real estate in Montenegro. There are a lot of title deeds that are not necessarily very clean, that
About
have some
50%.
little caveats.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to one, ask the question. You need a lawyer to point them out, because I mean, if you don't speak Montenegrin, you won't understand. And you need thorough due diligence done on the title deed, who sold before, etc., the whole background of the real estate, to make sure that you don't have issues. And when there are minor issues such as this, at least you know, and you build it in the price of the property.
Yeah. So it's been priced accordingly. It's been priced to have this kind of future bill to be paid for, and Ladislat is exactly right. So to use a lawyer, you also go through the notary system here. So there's a lot of due diligence that gets done before you get sent. So you will be buying something with your eyes open, but good advice to get a good lawyer and a good notary.
So you said 10% gross in terms of rental income.
Mm-hmm.
How much would that be net once you? Because that's for short term. A house like this would definitely be on the short-term market. There isn't really much of a market for nice houses like this on the long-term rental market in Herceg Novi, so it would be short-term for the summer.
At the moment, yeah.
So 10% gross, how much is it net in the investor's pocket? Because it's people heavy.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, I think the people that are here, you've got like 3 people here at the moment, so a couple of cleaners and a guy doing the outside. I would say that you're probably looking at a cost of about 30% at a guess. So you're going to net maybe 7%, and that's currently. It's interesting if Montenegro gets into the European Union, I'd see that Herceg Novi being the town to benefit the most in price rises. And not only the price rises of the property, but also price rises of accommodation, because Montenegro is already a lot cheaper than in many aspects than Croatia for accommodation. It's interesting because here we're about 30 minutes to Čilipi Airport.
Cool. So I actually cut Peter because I wanted to show how close Croatia is. So down there in the distance is, at the end of this road is the border already. So this is how close Croatia is. Above the mountain here, on the other side of the mountain, is Croatia. And Dubrovnik Airport is a 30-minute drive away from here.
Which is closer than it is to Dubrovnik.
So this is Ivana. She is the property manager, so she takes care of all the maintenance, greeting guests, etc. She's been taking care of this property for how many years now?
5 years.
5 years. So what happened to the door?
Yes. So last year we have some Russian. So when I came to say goodbye on their last day, I saw like it was punching the door, and I asked what happened. He was like, "Oh, I slipped," but no, of course we didn't believe in that story. So I think that he just punched the door. So was he drunk or not? I don't know, but we suppose it was like that. So we now have to, cover this. Otherwise, it was such a good punch.
You've got drunk Russians, so you got to take this into account. Peter was mentioning gross rental income of about 10% a year. I believe him. These numbers make sense. He then subtracted 30% for property management, essentially, and Airbnb and Booking.com fees, which is also fair. Now, I would add another 2 percentage points, 2 to 3 actually, for maintenance, because maintenance on large villas is typically higher than it is for apartments, especially when you have a pool. And then you also tend to have problematic tenants at times, so drunk Russians are a factor to take into account in Montenegro. So overall, if I were to make such an investment at 250K, which I would go in there negotiating quite hard, I would expect in my numbers 4 to 5% net, not more. If I get more, I'd be very happy. But then again, you need to take into account the fact that in a few years' time, at some point, you'll probably have to give 1 year's rental income away for the legalization of the property.